One of my students asked me to make a video about meditation posture, and as usual, it's controversial. Sometimes I am. Naturally, I don't try to do it, I promise. I'm making this video while I walk. Meditation is something I think highly misunderstood, especially for beginners, because it is confused as an exercise. It is confused as the recitation of a mantra. It is confused as visualization. It is confused with the religious aspect, many different ways. In particular, the students ask me about the posture. And I know that I'm walking, so you may think, what's the point? Well, I will try to say something because, of course, during our programs, we teach those things. And those programs are part of the school, and you have to pay for them. So I do what I can. In the sense, I'm not going to show you the posture here. The students probably will request for this video. Maybe it's going to laugh or maybe it's going to be sad. But I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the topic of meditation. And I will tell you what we do actually, without showing it. When I started to practice Nei Qi Gong, I was coming from Buddhist practices. I was practicing Vajrayana, Dzogchen. With my teacher, I was part of a Sangha. Formally, I was a student, Very wonderful path, good achievement, but still I felt that, something was missing, and for me was working with the body. At the time, I remember I was waking up every morning at maybe 5, 6, whatever, doing my personal practice, reciting mantras, visualizations, Buddhas, tantric practices. By the way, tantric doesn't mean sex nowadays. Unfortunately, it has this meaning, but tantric means to transform, work with your mind to transform it, and also your emotions. So I was sitting in a very advanced posture, like half lotus, full lotus, weird things. When I started to practice Nei Qi Gong, and we have some meditation programs, because meditation is a very important aspect of the practice. It's actually the best state to work with vital energy, and in my opinion, to achieve a high degree of mastery and outcome with this practice. The posture was much more simple. Sitting on a meditation pillow with something soft under your legs to avoid of getting tired, and the head was hanged on the sky, and all the processes that we do in the Nei Qi Gong practice that I cannot reveal here for school policy. But my legs were in a normal position, one in front of the other. This is something that I came to understand experientially, because when I started to practice Nei Qi Gong, I was still crossing my legs, one on top of the other, lotus, whatever. But the more I went forward, let's say, in the path, the more the energy aspect started to be prominent and right there for me, available. The more I realized that bringing one leg over the other was a way to create tension, which is something we don't want when we practice Qigong, because the internal expansion, which implies the activation of the energy, is being blocked. So that's why I adopted this new laid-back posture of one leg in front of the other, rather than being in fanciful sitting postures, which they might look great, but in terms of the energy practice, don't really do much. And another important thing is the straightness of the spine, of course, which also has some energy implication in terms of the energy practice that I'm not going to talk too much about here, and I don't even talk with my students unless they find out for themselves and I help them understand what's going on. So, meditation is highly misunderstood for several reasons. For us, it's a particular psychological and physical state. And of course, like in everything in life, first what we do is sitting down and practice. And this is valid for any skill or skills that we want to learn in life, first we have to give 100% of our attention to what we do. Think about driving, learning to drive. Even, dealing with the wheel and the gear and the brakes, the pedals, was a lot when we started, right? And now we make phone calls while we drive, we sing, we listen to the music, we talk to a friend sitting next to us, we are totally distracted, we still operate automatically. So what I'm trying to say is that the function of the exercise, of the so-called meditation exercise, it's there because they want to help us to discover something about ourselves. Let's say a deeper level of ourselves. And sorry about my throat, as any good skill, once we learn it, then we have to be able to translate it in our daily life. So, we did meditation practice in the beginning, we sit, we dedicate some time to it, we remove any distraction, and we do it. We give 100% of attention to discover what that thing is about. But later on, as the practice progresses, I don't need to sit in half lotus or sit down on a pillow or whatever to be in that particular psychological and physical state. I can even be in that state even when I'm active externally, when I'm doing things. Because it's like a shift in perception, or rather than perception, it's a shift in where we are operating from. And this is something tricky, especially nowadays that things are very confused. I mean, it's great nowadays because we have knowledge at our fingertips if we want, but when we have no experience about that thing, at least, well, we don't have a little bit of experience about that specific topic, anything that pop-ups on our feed, YouTube feed, whatever, has the possibility of influencing us and taking us in a wrong direction. And spirituality, I don't even like this word anymore, although I consider myself a very spiritual guy, but I don't like this word spiritual. I consider myself somebody interested in life, in my life, because this is what I have every day when I wake up. And what can I do about it? So it's very difficult to find proper information, and unfortunately meditation is misunderstood. Especially now you have meditation apps, and everybody can create their own meditation, and making it available to millions of people. If the marketing is successful, we go for it. But of course we have to start somewhere. I'm not judging, I'm just here to share my point of view that hopefully can be helpful. Hopefully not for some people who will watch this video, they don't like it. I don't know why they watch it, but So when we talk about meditation, we are talking about something that it's beyond the mind. It's before the mind. I cannot really point it at two. That's the limiting problem, if we can say, about this subject. It's very hard to grasp. It's very easy at the same time. It's very hard because we have to use words to describe something that is an experience, and word cannot deliver that. On the contrary, sometimes too many words, they can even confuse things up, because we think maybe we got it. My mind was free, I had no thoughts, and we think to be in a meditative state. Then something happens all of the sudden, your wife comes and bothers you, your kids, your dog barks, whatever, and you get annoyed. That's no meditation. That's a good level of relaxation, maybe sometimes due to tiredness. So, it's very interesting that the more we are trying to grasp it, this thing, the more difficult becomes because the act of looking too much for it, it prevents its discovery, because relaxation is not there. And of course, meditation is probably the first step in our spiritual journey. So discovering this possibility that we have as human beings, it's the beginning of the exploration of who we are, of something greater than us. That's why it is important that we get it properly, in my opinion. And sometimes people complain, no, but I practiced 2 months or whatever, and nothing has happened. There are people practicing all their lives, and sometimes they don't get it. We don't know why, and I think it's about being lucky in life and about removing yourself as much as you can from this process, while at the same time, at the core, you ask for it. And it's something greater than us, that is not under our control. So when we sit and practice, just not make this video too long. For my students, beginners, release any attachment towards the tool that you're using. Because the function of the tool, whether it is a mantra, visualization, is not the tool itself. For instance, we practice a visualization and the mind connects some kind of spiritual dimension and deities and religious aspect to that visualization. No. Many people all over the world have tried to conquer and discover the same things. The energy practice and the spiritual practices, according to their culture and their mind, they've created different systems, all valuable ones. The problem that we have is that we believe that the tool is the destination, so we get too much attached to the tool, too much attached to all the beliefs associated with it, that eventually we don't take it for what it is. It's like we take a boat to go to the ocean, we come back on the shore, and we still have the boat on our back. Doesn't really... Or maybe we just go with the boat on the ocean, and we think that taking the boat is about enjoying the boat, which is good. But no, the boat wants to take you on a specific destination. So to be able to do that, we have to understand that each tool, it's just a tool. Like Nei Qi Gong is just a tool, like many other tools. In my opinion, for me and for the kind of person I am, a great tool with great possibilities, but it's a tool. If we really want to grow spiritually, we have, personally I like that word more, we have to practice. If we have a meditation practice, if we already discovered, found something that we like, resonate with us, practice that thing with a certain distance, so that we don't get too much entangled with the content of the practice itself, with the tool. Because eventually all the paths, they want to take you to the same destination, to yourself. And that thing, it doesn't have any color, any culture, any preference, any religion, any kind of particular taste. So use it wisely. And all the tools are valuable. It's just important what we bring into the practice, who we are when we go into it. Otherwise we can get misled quite easily.